Capitalism. It acts like a parasite, feeding off the many in order to support the few. And I think Lee Camp, who hosts Redacted Tonight, had a very, very good analogy for this whole parallel that he brought up to the forefront of this issue that is very important. So let's take a look real quick.
In late-stage capitalism, profit is truly all that matters. Hedges points to author Michael Hudson, who said, the issue is whether Goldman Sachs, Wall Street, and predatory pharmaceutical firms actually add product, or whether they're just exploiting other people. Do they do anything, or are they simply parasites? Well, Hudson says people think of a parasite as simply taking money, taking blood out of the host. But the parasite can't simply come in and take something. First of all, it needs to numb the host. It is an enzyme so that the host doesn't realize the parasite's there. Numbing the host, you say? Is there any evidence that our economy has numbed the host so that we don't realize what's going on? I haven't seen any evidence of that at all. And then the parasites have another enzyme that takes over the host's brain. It makes the host imagine that the parasite is part of its own body, actually part of itself, and hence to be protected. The host imagines that the parasite is good for it. That's part of our own bodies, and we are invested in its welfare, that we need to protect it. I haven't seen anything like that. I know not of what you speak. That's basically what Wall Street has done. It depicts itself as part of the economy, not as a wrapping around it, not as external to it, but actually the part that's helping the body grow. But in fact, it's the parasite that is taking over the growth. These people, the corporate left, the corporate right, and the Donald Trump, are all parasites, enriching themselves off the hard work of others. They haven't taken over with tanks, they've taken over with think tanks. They don't use death to exert their will, they use debt.
Since money is debt, using it as an economic barometer makes little to no sense. And with a lot of the principles that free market economics introduces, such as interest, it really makes no sense, and it creates a perpetual trap that makes a lot of the many, you could say, stay within this trap and perpetuate the system as a whole. And unfortunately, due to the current media environment that we're in with a lot of the big corporations that control a majority of what we see on television, on radio, and in social media, there isn't much divulgence from this. You don't hear anything that is really outside of the norm. And unfortunately, that leads to a pretty low-informed public. But when you're in such a large position of power, that's what you want. And that's why everything has been catalyzed by the election of Donald Trump. People don't realize what they're getting themselves into, and a lot of the appointments that he's already made are going to spell out pretty atrocious scenarios for the future of this country and for the world. I mean, things already look dire enough with issues such as climate change, which is going to drastically increase the number of issues that we deal with on a global scale. But we have a multitude of social issues that we're dealing with as well that are honestly not seeing any solution. If anything, they're seeing an exaggeration. So a solution to this is to fight against the system and make sure to kick them in the face, you could say, whenever you can. You know, if you have a bank account with a large bank, close it. Go start up an account with a credit union. If you have some corporate job and you're able to quit and go into another field that might be less, you could say corporate, then do so. Stick it to the man and make your voice heard. Become a part of the change you want to see. Don't be a part of the sheep that perpetuate the system. Be unique and be yourself and make your voice heard. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, stay rational.